Good morning. Welcome to the Smart Life Club. I'm glad you've joined us today. This is the Coffee Break Show. I'm Vicki Helm, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Do me a favor, put your name down below and come and join us in the conversation and have some fun with us. We are the Smart Life Club, and this show, the Coffee Break Show, is where we just relax. Everybody stops working. We get together. We share tips and tools and techniques and all kinds of things that help create thrivability in the world. And today is Tuesday. It is Taco Tuesday, but in the Smart Life Club, it's Tuesday Talk. And today we're going to be talking about creating assets, the kind of assets that you want to create when there's economic uncertainty. And so we're going to be talking about that today. I'm so glad you're coming on board. Now, if you've been here every day and watching the show every day, thank you for being here. Your support means so much. And if you're watching on Facebook Live right now, welcome to Facebook Live. Just smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification button. It'll let you know Monday through Friday, we go live every single day. I just want to welcome you aboard. Hello, everyone. From Karen, she pops on board and says, hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. And so what I want to be able to do is invite you to, again, put your name down below so you can participate in the conversation. And I'm going to shut my dinging phone off because, well, there it goes. It just is dinging. So what I want to do is today I am going to take a play from my latest book. This is the latest book right now, and I think it's really important. And it's about how to grow assets and really get to the point where you have things in place so that you can create more money and learn how to grow assets right now. Good morning. We got good morning from Robin. Nice to see you here. As you're checking in, do me a favor and put your name down there. Now, I know for a fact that volatility makes investors scared. But I have a different type of investment strategy that I learned from my dad, and I want to share a little bit about that from you this morning. Good morning. Have my morning assets in my hand, my cup of coffee. You know, I got to be joining you here because right now the coffee is everything. So cheers, my friend. Good morning, everybody. Get your coffee, get your whatever. Let's have a conversation and have some fun today. So I want to talk about assets. We have, interestingly enough, a lot of confusion around assets. We have fake assets that don't really mean anything. And we have real assets, and those real assets help us bring money. And the way that we can go ahead and grow assets, or why we can grow assets, to me, it's like there should be a whole book that I write on the study of assets. But in this book right here, if we go back to this right here, we're going to be talking about this, the asset classes, the chapter 12, the online asset classes, because most people don't know this. And I this is a writer downer. I want people to understand this. The average person, not just the average person, has $100,000 worth of digital assets and doesn't even know it. Not at all. And the thing about that is because they don't know what quantifies the digital asset. But let me just ask you this. I mean, right now, if you were at your house and you were sitting around your home and you were thinking, I wonder if I have an extra $100,000 laying around. Well, wouldn't you want to know where it is? So I want you to think about that for a minute. The average family has $100,000 worth of digital assets. And usually what they do is they give them away free to people. And I'm going to teach you today how not to give them away for free. Lori says, good morning and happy Taco Tuesday. That's right. Oh, how I miss the restaurant and the Taco Tuesdays. Oh gosh, I can't wait till that comes back. So here's the thing. What constitutes an asset or a digital asset? Because digital assets are the new asset class. Digital assets are the literal new asset class that most people aren't taking advantage of. And let's get a couple of things clear. First off, an asset is something you're either going to buy, like a piece of gold or silver, etc., or you're going to make. You either make an asset or buy an asset. Those are the two things you do. Good morning. Getting my coffee too. I'm not sure who this is, but I'm hoping it's Ryan. If not, tell me your name so I know who you are. And all right, so hey, happy Taco Tuesday. But tonight is chicken cutlet night for us. That's right. We've gotten back to, we can't go to the Taco Tuesday place. So now we have to cook from home. There aren't tacos that much. So here we go. Here's this. Here's my Vicky's asset discussion is referencing her book, The Ultimate Guide to Smart Cash Flow Secrets. And there's the information to get it. And it's some of the best money you'll ever spend right now for what's going on. But I want to talk about asset development because, like I said, there's only, there's my man. I knew it was you. I'm so glad. It's Ryan. Nice to see you, buddy. Glad you're on. And so what I want to be able to do is tell you a couple of things. Now, I'm going to tell you the story of how I learned this. My dad, as you guys know, or if you don't know, made his money illegally. He's since passed away, but when he was alive, he was the first man to liquidize the THC out of the marijuana plant when it was illegal, when it was a federal offense. And he sold that because you could put a drop of THC on a cigarette, which was not illegal. You could smoke that cigarette, everybody would be high, and there was no marijuana around. So that's how he made his living. Then later on, he made illegal and illicit drugs, but that's another topic for another time. But what happened was when he made his money, he couldn't. All right, I want to say this, Brian, nice to meet you. Nice to see you on like this. This is great. Hey, I just want to stop. MJ, happy Tuesday. Nice to see that you're on. And here we go. Now we are making our own tortillas for Taco Tuesday. Yes, we are, Scott. You got that right. So today, what I want to say is my dad, when he got his money, he got it illegal. So he was, on the down low, and everything was a cash deal back then because it was the when he was alive doing this. And what ended up happening was he would tell me all the time, he would say, it's like you couldn't buy what you wanted to do. Even if you made millions of dollars, you couldn't buy the boat you want or the house you want or the place you want, because that would tip off the IRS. And the IRS would be like, if you don't have a job, how can you afford this? How come you're not paying taxes and you have this $1 million house that you bought via, illicit money? So my dad was very humble, and he had a lot of humble thoughts surrounding wealth, and he wasn't a show-off guy. He liked being an entrepreneur. I love this right here. Entrepreneurship comes naturally, then right. Vicky, yes, it does. Entrepreneurship comes exactly that easily with it's there. So anyway, what ended up happening was, as I was growing up, I just watched him work with his money, and he taught me boatloads just by being my dad. So here's the thing. There are two ways that you make assets. One is you buy them, you buy the asset, or you create that asset. So for instance, anytime I make a book like this is an asset. It'll sell over and over and over and over again. But in the ebook form, it becomes a digital asset. So like I said, this is so important to understand. Every average person has $100,000 of digital assets laying around their house, and they don't know it, or they don't know what to do with it. A digital asset can come in the form of just a picture. So I want to talk about that digital asset. Just recently, Robert C. Stern put a picture up of, it's just a picture. It was a picture of the Comfort ship coming into dock into New York City. And in there, he got the picture just right with the Statue of Liberty, and it looked like it was on the bow of the stern of the boat, just standing there waiting for us. And the picture was so compelling. People liked it so much that it flew all over the internet. I mean, he had like 100,000 shares, not just people liking it or saying how cool. 100,000 people liked that picture so much, it blew all over the internet within hours. People were sharing it everywhere. Once a picture has an engagement like that, if you put up a picture, it becomes a digital asset. When it goes viral, it becomes a bigger asset. It is something that is really huge on the internet. And so you can use those things as digital assets. I'm trying to make it as basic as possible. I mean, there's so much more to making digital assets. But a picture like that can be used, that people are excited about, that becomes an asset in your portfolio. But here's the thing. You can buy domain names right now, and the business of selling and buying domains is part of the digital asset. So for instance, I own Cela, CELA.net. And Cela.net, the 4 letters that are just CELA.net, that is unusual to have. And it's a big asset. Like, it could be sold for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just to have that domain. And I think I picked it up for like 800 several years ago. And I've just been sitting on it. And so what happens when you can get domains, and I'm not an expert at domains, but I think Gene Pimentel and Michael Neal is at picking domains as a business, but you can buy them and flip them like people buy and flip houses. The only difference is you don't have to fix it up. It's just a name somebody's searching for. And so there's literally a digital market for that. But let me tell you, I'm going to go in a little bit deeper. Let's see. I've got to move to Crestone. Thank you. Let's see. Hi, Karen Sachs and Vicki and everyone. Hi, I don't know who this is, but welcome. I'm so glad you're here with us. Listen, you guys, above, you're going to see a link right up here somewhere, and it says StreamYard/Facebook. When you click that, click on the blue button and it will allow me to see your name and your face. I need permission so that I can see it like this, where there's the name and the face of the person. Ryan, it does. Her dad was a powerful entrepreneur. Vicki learned much from him to apply this information legally. That's right. So I want to take a moment here to do this right. Good morning, Jane Goodhart. Nice to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Robert C. Stern, nice to see you. Using content not related to your business as an emotional trigger gets you seen, and people will be curious about you more. That's true. That's the building of the digital asset. You have to understand how digital assets are built. The thing about the internet is that you can buy domains, which is buying an asset, or you can build the domain or build something that is going to be sellable. Now, what makes something an asset? Well, there are a few things that have to be in place for an asset to be an asset. One is it sellable? If you can't sell it, then it's not an asset. Is it transferable? Can you give it to somebody? I built it, I sold it, or I gave it to somebody. Is it transferable? Is it scalable? Can you scale it out? So the things you built, like an app is a digital asset. And building an app, when you have that app in place and you have that digital asset, if it's a good app and it's willable, sellable, transferable, all of those things, if you can will it, sell it, transfer it, you have built an asset. Now, what's the next thing that is on the asset? Well, it is the size of the community. So for your like a YouTube channel, if you have 10,000 viewers or 1 million viewers or 10 million viewers, the value of that digital asset goes up. Is it willable, sellable, and transferable? Then you have this huge asset. The understanding of YouTube assets, so, is that usually it surrounds the program. And if the person who built that audience leaves, usually the audience dwindles. So this is what I call YouTube is a working asset. It's where you continue. And it's the same thing with Facebook Live here. Every morning I make a piece of content here. Every morning. Every time I do, I'm building one little show topic or one little piece of asset that goes in and builds a show over time. And so the show that you build, you kind of have to stay with until it makes assets for you. I like YouTube so much. And the reason I had Brian G. Johnson on is because that asset pays dividends. It's like when you build this asset, YouTube pays you dividends. It's a good asset to build. The reason we're looking at assets in this way is that when you build a business online, you are building a digital asset, but it gets even more simple than that. I want to talk about the $100,000 you probably got laying around your house that you don't even know. I just want to look at this right here. Let's see, pull this up because I'm not sure if this is Ryan. Just bought a domain that similar names were going for about 25K, starting to build it on it today. That's a good investment. That's a really good investment. I want you to know that many people are happy that I know the difference between Jan and Jane, but most likely Jane. And if you're new here, that's a long running joke. You'll get it later. You'll see it in other videos, you know. So Brian, he was very business savvy. I agree with YouTube. He was really great with that. So what we have is, I want to tell you a story. When you put something on Facebook that you give away, Facebook, in the terms of service, can claim it for anybody and anything and sell it to whomever they want. And that's what most people do. So we get these historical pictures that are on Facebook that we want to share with our friends because, you know, maybe they're just something incredible. And, you know, Facebook gets to cull all the images, all of it. And they get to sell it to people who want to buy them. I mean, big data people. So for instance, let's say you get on and you have this thing where you put a picture of your grandpa and you say, my grandpa died, you know, umpty years ago, but today was his birthday. And he actually was one of the people who did something really extraordinary, and you fill in the blank with the details of everything that's there. And so what happens is you created the story about your grandpa, you put up a picture about your grandpa, and you just let it out to the internet, and you're paying tribute to them. You're paying homage to them and thanking them for helping you have that better life and celebrating their birthday. Well, what happens is Facebook can go through and they find that wonderful story about your granddad and that picture, and they're like, hey, this is cool. They have his birthday, what he did, a picture of him, and what can they do? How can they sell that and make money with it? Well, maybe they sell it to something like Ancestry.com. I'm not saying they do it, but maybe they sell the story and everything to Ancestry.com. You wrote the story, you have the picture, you have the data that's put out on Facebook, and now Facebook has the right to sell it to Ancestry.com for whatever they want to sell it for. And how much of that money did you get? Zero. You got nothing because you didn't understand how it is that asset worked. How is it that asset happened? That's how people have digital assets lying around the house and they don't know how to protect them, or they don't understand that they're even assets. You look at it and you say, photo in history. Now, I know a lot of this because I don't know if you guys know Lori Sunflower, but she's a photographer, and every single month that she takes photos, she keeps them in a file. She knows that that's her asset. That's how she makes a living, are these photos and these pictures. Over time, that will be a growing asset because it's the history of what happened over a long period of time. And most families have those kind of photos. They know what happened over a long period of time. And so what happens is we start devaluing them and going, look, this is my granddad, this picture of my granddad, or here's my grandmom, or whatever we're doing. At that moment, we don't understand digital assets. But here's what I want to tell you. The digital assets market is what I call a sweat equity market. So what do I mean by that? Sweat equity is like you put front end labor in, And then you have back end money. So when you design an app, when you design something that is a digital asset and you sit and you build it and you have to make it work and make it and keep improving it and improving it and improving it, that is making a digital asset. So I want to talk about that. How do we move from having this here to this here, which is a hard asset, to an online asset? And the first thing that comes to mind, obviously, is Netflix, because Netflix did one thing that took out its competition completely, and then they built an empire. But it was back in the day, Netflix, they were a video rental company, and their competition was Blockbuster. And Blockbuster was kind of the only game in town. And so right now, the only game in town, you have to have, I want to say this, you have to have consistency in building your assets. Yes, one book doth not make a portfolio of assets. And if you understand digital assets right now, you will understand that you can make a portfolio of assets that will feed you for the rest of your life. So let's see. Consistency in all things creates greater success. You're so right. What builds that asset requires consistency. This is Lori Sunflower. And I want to let you know, Lori Sunflower has been my photographer like over a decade. She's taken every time I have updated photos on my site and everything else, they're all taken by Lori. And all the magazine covers, all my book covers, if you look at this book here, there's is Lori's work right here. That's Lori Sunflower is the photographer here. On every single picture of mine, I have one person who has done my photos for eons. Yes, I definitely have thousands of photos and pretty well organized too. That's right, you do. So the digital asset market is like your best kept secret right now. If you understand it, and you understand how you can build digital assets, or that you have digital assets, first things first, or that you have the kind of data. Having your data is a digital asset. This is so important to understand, because the number one thing they try to take from you on the internet by giving you free access to everything is your data, because that is the most important digital asset you own. So you have to understand that the digital asset market is a sweat equity market. Sweat up front and rewards in the back. And the thing is, depending on how big you're making it, it can take anywhere from, 4 months to 2 years to get everything built up exactly how you want it. So this is really important. I want to say this again. You need a portfolio of assets. And I'm going to add, you need a portfolio of digital assets. One digital asset is not a portfolio. So you really want to take a look at that. What's the portfolio? Again, I want to go here. I did that. I posted many pictures of my family. I know I'm going to say this now that you've admitted it there. I actually use your case study in several of my lectures and in my book. So I did that. I posted many pictures my family has in archives in a museum back east, including the histories of Plymouth Rock and Jamestown. They're very rare photos. Now, these are digital assets, and your data is digital assets. The history of your family and who you are is digital assets. Every time you share, you have to understand what you're sharing and why you're sharing it, because we're throwing away money out the door, knocking money off the table every single day by sharing data and not creating assets. There are so many things that you can build or have to build assets from home. Yes, it is. Lori Sunflower, photography is magical. Yes, she's magical at it. Knows how to really get core essence. So what I'm telling you today is, you can't, to me, I have more than one digital asset. I have several digital assets that I work on. I like properties a lot, and I have some of those. I like books. Books are a big, great thing like that. I like apps. Apps are, once the app is set up, all you're doing is tweaking the app to get it going. Now, you may be saying to yourself, I'm not smart enough to have an app or build a piece of software. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not either. I don't. But on Fiverr, somebody is, and you say, here's the idea, here's what I want, here's what I want access to. And now they have apps on how to build apps. It's easy. Now, I want you to know this. If you know nothing else about building money and building digital assets, you have to know this one thing. It's the most important thing to know. You have to understand this piece. So here it is. Here's the real understanding. The internet doesn't become harder and harder and harder and harder. It becomes easier and easier and easier and easier, because who would buy something if it got harder and harder and harder to use? So what happens is, what you can accomplish in a 2-year period, because you have the technology and the tools and the things that are coming around to help you build assets, to help you grow that money, they're easier and easier and easier every year. And as things become more intelligent, as things become more software capable for the average person, there's no excuse not to write a book. So I want to tell you, this is how I build companies with my team. I build assets with them every single day. So every day I make a piece of asset. And that came out wrong. I'm going to say piece of content, or I build an asset of some sort. Every single day you want to add that little asset in there. It's going to grow over time. It doesn't grow overnight. Yes, sometimes there are books that you can get that will help you absolutely make a lot of money really fast. But those are very, very, very few. Most people, even Grant Cardone, even Robert Kiyosaki, even, it doesn't matter who it is, Jack Canfield, he didn't stop at one book. He had a #1 smash hit book with Mark Victor Hansen, and it was called Chicken Soup for the Soul. But they didn't stop there. They didn't go, here's our Chicken Soup for the Soul. They had the best-selling, most incredible book out, and they now have probably 250 different books in the Chicken Soup for the Soul thing. Now, they could have stopped at 5, they could have stopped at 10, but they have 250. So you can learn how to build assets. So let's say right now that you have the entire library of Chicken Soup for Your Soul in there. And let's say each book only sold 3 books in a month. Three books in a month times 250. Somebody do the math, because I'm not. But that is the income at $7. Let's say everybody gets the ebook at $7 times 3. That you have an income coming in every month. Now you might say, well, I've never written a book before, and I've never done this before, or I don't know how to spell, or because I said all those things to myself too. I don't know how to write a book. I'm not a good speller. I don't know what I'm doing. And 37 books later, there are 37 assets that you build. And here's the key question. This is the thing you have to ask yourself. Do you want to have cash flow income coming in every month? Well, if you do, then your goal is to build assets every single day. Some type of asset. The digital assets are easier. Now, hard assets, real estate, etc. I tried the real estate thing. I don't like it. I think we had like 5 houses at once. I'm not a landlord. I don't like it. I do like metals. Those are great things, as you can see right up here. There it is. I like metals. I think they're cute and I think they're fun. And there are tons of assets that you can buy. But the ones that you make, the ones that you own, those are the ones that are going to make you wealthy. So I need that. I posted many. Oh, sorry. We read this one. Sorry. We're going down here. Ha, ha, ha. I make a piece of asset. I'm sorry. It's my Vickyism. Yes. So I speak Vicky too. That's right. Anyway, what I want to tell you today is that the world is changing. And right now, what you're used to having as an asset, or what you're used to thinking as income, has dwindled. It's shifting, it's changing. And there is a new form of being able to go out in public and make yourself an income source of your own. So this is what I want to hear. Yes, I definitely want cash flow every month, and you can have all the hard assets you want, but cash flow is king, and that's the future of it. So I wanted to leave you with that, and I want to end the show today with this. And I want to tell you something. If you want to learn more about creating assets, just pick up this book. You can get an ebook for like, I don't know, $7. And it's very super easy to read. It's not, see, it's a thin book. You can read this. It's not like having, one of those big, thick books, like, whatever one is there that you're going to take. That's simple. It's a simple formula for learning how to make money. So, Donald, cash flow has always been important. Today, multiple cash flows are critical. That's right. So I'm going to invite you to step out of your comfort zone today and learn how to give yourself the ability to create your own money, to create your own wealth, to command your own assets. And one of that's what that book is going to teach you how to do. I just want to thank you guys for being here today. Tomorrow is Welcome Wednesday, and our guest is Kathy Mason. And we are going to have some deep, inspirational, motivational conversations with her. And she is going to share with us some secrets she's going to share with us the secrets to building some of the assets we're talking about right now. All right, you guys, peace out. I love you all. Mwah! Talk to you later. Bye.